Hey Jay, I just had a question about sort of tag, because I feel like tag kind of undermines the science in general, and even as an Orthodox Christian, at what point, what criteria are we saying oh, we can use science and use evidence? Because where does that align with Orthodoxy?
No, I would argue that in fact you couldn't have science without the transcendental categories. So it really has nothing to do with undermining science. Why would it undermine science? I mean, evidences are absolutely necessary. It just depends on what type of thing is being debated or what the question is. So, for example, if somebody came to the debate and said, "Oh, there's no historical evidence for the person called Jesus of Nazareth," right? A lot of atheists say this. Well, this is the perfect time to bring in historical evidences and say that is actually totally not true. Here's this evidence, here's this evidence, here's this evidence, here's this evidence. So, in that case, it's absolutely necessary to bring in historians, testimonies, evidences, proofs, quotes. But if it's a debate about something that's prior to evidences like worldviews or paradigms, it's not going to work to just put forward evidences. You're going to have to deal with something at a paradigm level like transcendental categories, preconditions.
But when you debate a Catholic and you're saying that they're an evidentialist, but they're also not only an evidentialist, they also have faith. So where does that stand?
Well, fideism and evidentialism actually go together. So I'm not sure what you mean by they're evidentialists and they have faith. Evidentialism is a school of apologetics that believes that you just, quote, prove something by piling up a bunch of evidences, and if you get enough of those stacked up, maybe they'll choose in the right direction. But evidentialism relies on a certain type of epistemology, classical foundationalism usually, and it relies on other things that are not proven or demonstrable, like that everything is theory neutral. So evidentialism is an assumption in epistemology and in classical foundationalism that I'm calling into question. That doesn't really have anything to do with Catholics saying that they believe something, quote, on faith. In fact, that's kind of a fideistic move typically, which actually makes sense with evidentialism.